What is going on, guys? Welcome to a video. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys the top 5 best ways to get a win in Warzone in 2020. Now, Warzone has just come out and it's the battle royale for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it is awesome. However, the way that Warzone is at this moment in time is a bit crap in regards to the way that people are playing. It's very campy. There's a lot of campers and a lot of people that are playing very passive on the game and the map. So these are my top 5 ways on how to get a win on Warzone the most effectively, and the way that I've found to always be the best to get wins. Now, I've got quite a few solo wins and quite a few squad wins as well, so I think I'm in a pretty good position to try and give these tips to you guys as well, and the things that have worked well for me. So starting with tip number 1, probably the most important one: keep moving. Now, it may sound stupid, it may sound simple, but it's so effective. Now, in my opinion, keeping moving is one of the most important things to do in Warzone, because everyone else is just camping. Everyone else is camping on rooftops, in buildings, in corners. Everyone is camping, which means you've basically got a lot of the map to yourself. Now, obviously there are other players out there which are moving as well as you. They have the same strategy and the same tactics. However, you are very rarely going to run into those people, in all honesty. Keeping moving from building to building is probably one of the most effective things to do. From building to building, looting all of the loot boxes, and just trying to stay within rural areas. If you're in an area where there are no buildings, it's just grassland, you are in more of a position to get sniped or more of a position to get shot. If you're in a place that's very rural, loads of buildings around you, loads of covers, loads of places you can hide, and before you guys know it, it'll be much easier for you guys to get from one place to another, and potentially from one map to the other side of the map if the circle is that far away. It's very effective. Give it a go. Hi, sorry, future me here. Now, the gameplay you'll see in the background, literally 15 minutes I was in this game. I found one person, and that was at the start. The rest of the game, I found no one. Absolutely no one. I didn't even see a person the whole game. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, keeping moving. That's potentially because I was going from building to building and trying to avoid any contact possible. So if you can do that, it will work, and you will get to the final circle very effectively with absolutely loads of loot. Tip number 2, and this is one of my favorites and one of the most effective things on this list: the use of vehicles around the map. So we've got things like ATVs, we've got buggies, we've got trucks, we've got jeeps, helicopters. Use all of them. Honestly, guys, they are an absolute lifesaver. Let me put this into context. Have you ever been on one side of the map and the circle is then on the other side of the map, and you've got a long ass way to run towards the other circle? Yeah, me too. The best way to counteract that is to get into a car, get into a buggy, get into an ATV, or even perfectly a helicopter, and obviously get from one side to the other very quickly. The only downside of using a vehicle is obviously the fact that you're generating a lot of noise, but when people are running for the circle, they're not really that bothered about challenging a vehicle. I would say first thing you do when you land, locate a vehicle. If you're on a team of 3, make sure it's an ATV or a jeep or even a helicopter, and make sure you've got one at hand at all times. As I mentioned, it will generate a lot of noise. However, once you've got from one place to another fairly quickly, you've looted that place, you can get back into the jeep and move on to the next. And on the way, if you do get shot, then you're in a vehicle, you're much faster than what you would be on foot, so you can drive away fairly quickly. Even if you are held up and getting shot, get out the vehicle, hide behind it for cover. The use of vehicles in Modern Warfare is very effective. You should definitely utilize it. It will help you a lot in securing that win. Number 3. Now, this was one of the most important things that I've learned playing Warzone, which I wasn't really too aware of before Warzone come out, and that's the use of the Harpy Sensor. Similar to back in Modern Warfare 2, whereas that was actually on your weapon, you can see people within a proximity of say 50 meters away from you on the Harpy Sensor, and it will show you the direction in which they are. In Modern Warfare, the Harpy Sensor works identically to that. However, it's not on your weapon, it is a piece of equipment. So in place of like a stim shot or a stun grenade, you'll pull the Harpy Sensor out using LB or L1, which will then show the distance and the direction of the enemy within say 50 meters or so. Now, in the final circle, this is a must have, especially with a loadout just for this particular game mode. You need to have a Harpy Sensor on. Now, there's been countless times where I've been one-on-one with someone in the final circle, I've had a Harpy Sensor and I've knew exactly where they were, and they had no idea where I was. The amount of times this has saved my ass and got me the win, it's absolutely amazing how good this thing is. And I would honestly, if it drops out of a box, I'm the first person to grab it. Now, when I first started, I was always a fan over Stim Shot rather than the Harpy Sensor, because on multiplayer, using Stim Shot, you have to do it. I always use Stim Shot on multiplayer. It's an absolute crutch piece of equipment to have. You can obviously regenerate your health literally as soon as you've lost it. It's amazing. However, stim shot on Warzone is not really that effective. It's not really that good. I would use the Harpy Sensor every day of the week. And it's not even like it just has to be the enemy in front of you. They literally, if you're on the highest building in the map and they're down the ground floor, you will be able to see them on the Harpy Sensor still. It makes no difference. It's literally from a proximity of like meters away. Height does not matter, nothing like that. Literally, it's where they are within that 50-meter radius. They will show up on your Harpy Sensor. Give it a go. It's absolutely insane. It's one of the best things to use in this game. Try it. Let me know how you get on. Number 4, attachments. As you know, you get loadout drops in Modern Warfare, which allow you to choose your own creator classes. These creator classes will have obviously 3 perks, 1 lethal, 1 tactical, a primary, and a secondary. Once they've created in creator class, you can import them into your Warzone by buying a $6,000 loadout drop, which you can purchase with the in-game currency. For me, I've got around 5 or 6 different Warzone classes, and each of them have very specific attachments on. So I'll put a few of these classes on the screen now so you can see exactly what I mean. However, the majority of the classes, I've got a sniper as a secondary or a primary, and I've got an AR as a secondary or a primary also. Obviously that does take away one of the perk slots, so I think it takes away perk 2, so you'll always have overkill on. However, with the perk 1 and perk 2, they need to be very specific. Things like cold blooded, where you can prevent being seen by thermals and things like that, that's very useful to have on. And things like battle hardened, where you can take less damage from grenades and stuff like that. If you're in a room trying to survive, you get a grenade through the window and you don't have a trophy system, that thing could save your life. Or even things like an SMG and then having an AR as a secondary. The AR can be used as a long range weapon, the SMG can be used as a rush class. It really can vary depending on your playstyle. Attachments. I would rather use on a sniper, a thermal sight, or the hybrids. On guns like the Kar 98K, you have hybrid sights which go from ACOG sights, which you can then transfer into a red dot. However, on my Kar 98K, I use the thermal scope with a red dot on the sight. I'll put that class on screen right now. As a secondary though, I would always have a gun which I know that I can challenge someone from close up and probably win that gunfight 9 times out of 10. So I'll make sure I've got a decent sight and decent attachments on that gun so that I can challenge them and potentially win that gunfight near enough all the time. That class will also be on the screen. However, if I'm in more of a rush mood and I just want to get the win, I go for 2 fully automatic guns, so SMG and an AR. These are just a couple of the different attachments that I have on these weapons, and they are really effective. I would utilize things like the monolithic suppressor and things like the hybrid scopes. They're very effective on things like assault rifles and snipers. Definitely give them a go and let me know how you get on. And finally, this one probably links into the first one, but I'm going to cover it anyway. Number 5 is rooftops. Now, the first one was obviously keeping moving from ground to ground, building to building, which is fine, and that is very effective. However, rooftops can be utilized to your advantage very heavily. Especially the rooftops on places like Promenade East and Promenade West, where you've basically got the ladders which go up on each side, and you've got the big sort of triangular dip at the very top, and you've got the triangular spike at the top of the roof, so you can take cover when you need to, and then obviously you can dip out and in whenever you need to also. Jumping from rooftop to rooftop is a very effective way. However, I would always make sure that I'm on the higher ground. Nothing is worse than being on a rooftop and then having a building next to you which has a higher rooftop and getting shot from that building and then you dying. Trust me, it's happened many times to me in the past, and I'm over it now. I do not want it to happen to me again. So learning from those mistakes, I always make sure I'm on the highest rooftop in that particular area, and I'm looking down with a thermal sniper or anything that I have from a chest. Obviously there's no point going on top of that building with an SMG because you're just not going to do any damage. I'd make sure before you go on rooftops you have a gun like an AR or something that's decent with long range that you can then go ahead and pick off enemies with. But guys, that's been the top 5 ways to help you guys get a win within the Warzone game mode in 2020 on COD Modern Warfare. I hope you have enjoyed. If these top 5 tips have given you any sort of tips or give you any feedback, do let me know. If there's anything else you guys want me to cover as well, let me know in the comments section down below. I think I'll be making the top 5. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.